My name's Adam Manaka and I'm the Financial Controller for Hi-Tech Oils. With our national capacity, we can now service Australian companies nationwide. Of late, we have now expanded into the New Zealand market. Here at Hi-Tech Oils, we receive premium base oils and premium additive packs. Together, with our highly trained staff, we manufacture over 500 premium quality products. Hi-Tech Oils is Australian made and Australian owned.
On today's show, we return to Willowbank Raceway in Brisbane for our continuing coverage of the New Year Thunder as part of the 400 Thunder drag racing series. And today, the factory hot rods of Pro Stock do battle down the quarter mile. Then we head over to Chile and to the capital of Santiago for the third round of the 2018-19 FIA Formula E Championship, the Santiago E-Prix. This is Speedweek.
Soldatos is in full stage already. Tyronne's just brought on the pre-stage light. He's got 7 seconds now to get into the stage beam. And he hasn't done it. Automatic red light to Tyronne Tremayne, and it will be Soldatos. Oh, double bulbing is not always a popular thing to do. Tyronne Tremayne sits on the start line. Welcome to Willowbank Raceway at Ipswich in Queensland. We've got the New Year Thunder for you, and it's all about Pro Stock today. Those factory hot rods, 400 cubic inch V8 powered sedans, running through manual transmissions, races won and lost by a couple of hundredths of a second. The opening round of the championship happened down in Sydney, and it was oh so controversial when Chris Soldatos met Tyronne Tremayne. Soldatos went straight into full stage in the final. Not quite what you normally would call courtesy, and it left Tyronne Tremayne timed out and not even with the opportunity to contest the race. Matt Kavanagh's down with Tyronne now.
Alongside Tyronne Tremayne, the Pro Stock racer. Tyronne, fantastic to see you here in Willowbank.
Yeah, mate, can't wait. Should be another good meeting, and this car's running good this weekend, so we'll get it out there and see how it goes.
Well, let's talk about the last round, of course, the burn down between yourself and Soldatos. Of course, how did that go down?
Oh, mate, we had a good car all weekend. It was running fast, and I think we had a good chance in the final, and he sort of done something that I'd never sort of had done to me before, and I got a bit puzzled with it, and we got timed out with a bit of bad luck, and we just got to get out here and get this mega bulk fuel through these rounds now.
Yeah, so we go back to Sydney, of course. That's where he fully staged, and of course you came into pre-stage, timed out. So that's what we're talking about there with the Soldatos burn down. Is it going to happen again today? If you get the chance, you're going to do the same to him?
Oh, mate, I don't know if I'll do the same, but there's going to be games from now on, and we'll see what happens.
Games there are in Pro Stock. Soldatos is leading the point score from Tyronne Tremayne after that opening round. Aaron Tremayne in third, Jody Racco in fourth, and down to Wayne Daly in fifth. We've got a good field of cars here this weekend, though, including some newcomers to this particular championship year, and the welcome return of Nino Cavallo. Now, he is down there in the pits with Matt Kavanagh.
We're here with Nino Cavallo, Pro Stock racer. Nino, fantastic looking car you've got here.
Thanks for that. Yeah, we just brought it back from the States 2 months ago. We've been in the States racing with it. I haven't run it for about a year and a half, but it's good to be back.
And what's it looking like after some testing here at Willowbank? Is it a very competitive car?
I think we should be in the top half, if not better. I've had a couple of runs testing yesterday, so that sort of helped my confidence a bit, so hopefully we do good.
And why the upgrade to this car?
Later model, it's a bit more compact, a bit more aerodynamic, so I should pick up a little bit of speed with it.
Well, the Dodgers have proved to be very competitive, and as we go into round one, here is another one. It is Wayne Daly in the Diamond T Custom Toolboxes Dodge, and he's up against his teammate, and that is Jody Racco in a Holden Monaro, sponsored by Diamond T Custom Toolboxes.
We are on board with Wayne Daly coming forward here for Pro Stock. You see that big scoop on Daly's car, forcing the air down into the carburetors here. You know, these cars haven't got as much horsepower as their supercharged cousins, but any sort of advantage you can get, and those scoops can force the air down those carburetors, you take it.
Yeah, only 400 cubic inches, yet they're producing over 1,100 horsepower these days. Wayne Daly with the Dodge has got a little bit of an advantage in that area over Jody Racco, running the Chevrolet engine on board his Holden Monaro. But so far, Racco's 2-0 against Wayne Daly.
It is the third event in a row that the teammates have met up in racing. Racco hasn't performed as well as Daly's, but he's got 2 wins on the board so far. Daly, team leader, looking to get one back here on Racco. You can see the crew just guiding Daly back, just telling him which way to steer the car so it's perfectly in those grooves. You can see the track marks there for Daly in front of the car where he wants to launch. Maximum traction for these Pro Stock cars is vital to get them 60 footing in the sub 1 second zone off the start line.
Well, there's a huge crowd in here at Willowbank Raceway for all the action of the New Year Thunder. Pro Stock's just part of it, but it is always one of the categories that throws up the closest racing. Won and lost by thousandths of a second quite often, and many a time it comes down to who does what on the start line when it comes to reaction times. Jody Racco edging forward, Wayne Daly on the far side of the racetrack. It will be 3 from 3 for Jody Racco against his team boss, because Wayne Daly's got some sort of problems, and Racco a 723, 280 kilometres an hour, which isn't too bad in these very hot conditions, Mark.
Yeah, looking at the replay, it looked like Racco actually buttoned it off early as well, but Wayne Daly just shake there on the start line. They've actually resorted back to their old suspension setup this weekend because they did have some new shock absorbers on board for the last round. They weren't happy. They need more testing involved. They decided to go back to what they know, and it looks like they've still got some issues there on the start line with the launch, but Jody Racco getting the win. It wasn't a clean pass for Racco either, because he did button it off at the top end, so he probably would have been in the 7-1 zone if he hadn't shut off early as well.
Yeah, the incrementals indicated that it was going to be a fast run, but Jody Racco, he gets the win. That's what it comes down to. He gets those championship points again.
And that's what it's all about, championship points. And speaking of champions here, Aaron Tremayne on screen now for Megabyte Fuels, coming forward through his burnout procedure. Currently third in the championship. He's going to take on Brian Purcell. It's the first time this season we've seen Brian Purcell compete in Pro Stock, but he has got some serious power on board because Aaron Tremayne is his engine builder.
Yeah, Tremayne, the defending champion. And of course, as you say, with his next-gen engineering business, produces a lot of horsepower for many clients, and Purcell is just one of them in the Andergrove store. Mackay back car. He's down from North Queensland. Was very competitive the last time we saw him at the Gulf West North Winter Nationals last season. And what we saw in testing, he's got what it takes to really take this race up to Aaron Tremayne.
That he does. You can see the crew, they're doing final adjustments on the wheelie bars as well. Sometimes they actually use the wheelie bars to tune the cars to keep them straight on the launch. They actually stagger them slightly, so one side of the wheelie bar will be a bit lower than the other because the cars tend to squat and launch, torque down on one side of the car a bit more, so they try and use it to keep the cars straight as they leave the start line.
Well, there is Purcell with the Andergrove Store Mackay back car. In comes Tremayne for Megabolt Fuel Speed Flow. Aquiline Pearls, they leave together, pull through those 5-speed transmissions. Aaron Tremayne will have the power, runs a great 7.06, 313 kilometres an hour ahead of Purcell's 7.12. Hey, but the first winner we've had this weekend was Jody Racco.
Okay, we're here with Jody Racco. You got the first pairing that come up. You've beaten the boss, mate.
Yeah, listen, that's a bit of a habit that we're starting to form, but it's always tough beating the boss, but I'm sure his time will come, mate. He's a great racer and we're able to get hold of it, and Wayne shook, so that's the way that the sport goes. Once again, mate, fantastic, good fun.
No worries, we'll have fun tonight.
Thank you, good on you.
Well, Jody Racco, the Western Australian, he is really enjoying his time across here on the East Coast, racing the 400 Thunder Championship. But look at Wayne Daly, he just can't believe his luck.
I really backed it right down, and I just don't know what the deal is. It just will not leave when you hit second gear.
As we look at the replay from our last pairing out, Brian Purcell got off the start line really well. They'll be happy with that pass. Aaron Tremayne may have got the win, but Purcell will be taking a bit of confidence going into round 2. Tremayne, you can see this Megabolt Fields Pro Stocker leave the line. It was a great pass in these conditions as well. It is fairly warm here at Willowbank Raceway, so I didn't expect the cars to run much quicker than the 7.0 zone. I don't think we'll see 6s at the moment, but once it cools down, watch out.
Yeah, Tremayne there with Purcell, very little in at half track, but then the power took over. The terminal speed started to happen for Aaron Tremayne, and well, just make sure that he's got every hair in place, ready for his interview with Matt Kavanagh.
Next pairing up on screen, we can see the Pro Stocker here of Paul Beecham coming forward.
And here is the second of the Megabolt Fuels car, Tyronne Tremayne in the Camaro. He is going to be absolutely itching to, take some revenge for what happened in Sydney. He'll want to go to the final, and he'd rather meet his brother, of course, but if it happens to be Chris Soldatos in the other lane, I think he'd enjoy that too.
You know what, as a fan of drag racing, I want that to happen. I know we've got Beecham. Oh, actually, watching Beecham here on screen, the car was backing up just then, and then it jumped forward like he bumped it into gear. There, we've seen the car was reversing. The crew just looking around. I'm not sure what's going to happen here, if he's lost gear or what. What's there? You can see the guys pushing the car back. I'm not sure if Beecham's going to take part in this pass here.
Well, the engine appears to be still running, so
that's a good sign.
If he can find first gear, there's no reason why he won't move forward into stage. They brought him a long way back, that is for sure. There's the Aquiline Pool Speed Flow Megabolt Fuels car of Tyronne Tremayne. He's ready to go into stage, but I reckon if he needs to give a bit of time, he will after what went on in Sydney.
I think so as well. Tyronne Tremayne currently second in the championship, taking on Paul Beecham here. I spoke to Beecham just before this pass, and this team, they know they haven't got the horsepower of the likes of Tremayne's and that. They're hoping just to run some 7.1s, get a little bit of data and keep the other guys honest in the lane beside him, maybe pick up a win or two.
It's great to see Paul on track with this car. Even better to see him moving forward towards the stage beams, and he's going to make a race of this with Tyronne Tremayne in the Tremayniac Racing Camaro Pro Stock. It's all about horsepower in incremental amounts. If you can make some changes on the dyno and pick up even 3 or 4 horsepower, it will show up in a race. There's no question about that. Tyronne Tremayne's going to have too much, that is for sure, and he runs 7.04, 314 kilometres an hour. Oh, Beecham going very quick in the braking area after his 7.22.
That was a good pass from Tyronne Tremayne here, 7.04, low ET so far of the round. You can see the car get off there. It was a good pass. Paul Beecham as well. That was a good pass for the team as well. He ran to 7:22 there. Let's have a look at the front on replay. You can see the front end bouncing up and down there of Tyronne Tremayne's car, but it didn't wash off any ET there. 7:04 for the win.
And 8 bonus points. That's what it's about. If he holds on to that low ET, it's going to be very important. But in the meantime, his brother is down in the braking area with Matt Kavanagh.
Aaron Tremayne, you're a natural winner down here at Willowbank, but good to get a round win.
Yeah, mate, our first round off the rank, so a little bit nervous on that one, but yeah, we got the job done, and a little bit. I think there was a little bit left in that run, so my brother just ran pretty quick by the sounds of it. So hopefully we'll get this mega bulk fuels and keep going rounds.
No worries. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
Well, Aaron tunes both of those cars, and there he goes, straight over to Tyronne. He'll start the post-mortem on what happened straight away. They don't even wait to get to the pits.
Overline?
Yeah, what the I thought I was bang on.
What do you mean?
I must have drove it a bit.
It'll be right on. It's got a 550.
Because it went boom. Oh.
You went over. Yeah, what did I go?
Well, I was worried about not running.
What did I go?
Oh,
06. 06, yeah, you went 05.
Yeah, but I hit the limit on the first finish.
Yeah.
I don't hurt it.
Nah, you'll be right.
Well, I thought I was bang on, Raz, you know?
Yeah.
Well, for a guy that's just set low ET, he doesn't appear as happy as you might have expected, is Tyronne. That low ET, will it hold? Because here comes the championship leader, Chris Soldatos, in the Tingay Smash Repairs Pontiac. And look who's beside him, Nino Cavello, on his return to pro stock in this beautiful new Dodge. And we know it's got the potential to shake up the whole field.
That it does. In testing, that car of Nino Cavello's was very, very quick. This is my race of the round in pro stock for round 1. Cavello, incrementals wise, I'm telling you, that car is on low 7.0s and potentially in the high 690s if the conditions are right here today. But Soldatos, our championship leader, he could not have picked a harder matchup here in round 1 of pro stock against Nino Cavello, returning to 400 Thunder pro stock racing here. He campaigned this car in the United States of America. It did dip into that 690 zone as well over there.
Well, you've got to acknowledge that Chris Soldatos has got the man of Pro Stock Australia in his corner. Crew chiefing that car is multi-time champion Peter Ridgway, and it's Ridgway Motorsports that do the engine in the car. But Cavello, he's got Dodge power. In this, and Cavello pulls the chute early. 7.06 is the win for Chris Soldatos. Did that chute cost Cavello a win? It was pretty close, Mark.
Yeah, let's have a look at the replay here. Cavello was ahead at 1,000 foot on track, but his car actually started going towards the centre line, and these pro stockers with no downforce, I think he's done the right thing there and just rolled off the throttle, pulled the chutes early, because you just can't steer him back in at speed like that, because things can happen in pro stock when you do that. Watch front on here. You can see Cavello was getting over towards that centre line there, and he had to do the right thing, button it off, which let Soldatos unfortunately get through for a win there. And Matt Kavanagh will be in the braking area with Tyronne Tremayne, winner of the last pairing.
Tyronne Tremayne, yeah, another win.
Yeah, mate, that's good, eh? Just see if we can keep this thing going through round after round. It'd be good.
No worries, and happy with the car tonight?
Car's good, mate.
All right, have a good fun.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, Pro Stock round 1. We've had some close races already, that is for sure. We've got plenty coming up when we move into 2. But let's have a look at the points. This is what it's about. Tyronne Tremayne, he has hauled the mail with maximum grab of 28 ahead of his brother, Chris Soldatos. He's staying there. Jody Racco, he keeps racking up the wins. Cavello, Beecham, Daly and Purcell have got work to do if they want to make it into that major final later on tonight. But first, we've got more great rounds of Pro Stock coming up. We're going to bring them to you straight after this break. Welcome back to 400 Thunder TV. We're at Willowbank Raceway for the New Year Thunder event, and it's all about pro stock. The teams are all getting ready for round 2, and one driver who's very, very pleased to be back in amongst it for the first time since the Winter Nationals is North Queensland's Brian Purcell.
Here in Pro Stock with Brian Purcell. Brian, not the first way you wanted to start tonight. Obviously, you had Tyronne Tremayne, a hard person to beat.
Very hard. Like, he is the guy in Pro Stock and has been for years. He's actually does the engine for me in the car, so I do get plenty of help from Aaron while we're running it. So it was pretty funny when I couldn't believe it, but that's just the way it goes. Yeah.
It wasn't a bad race though, very close.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I actually probably lost a little bit of concentration just on the start line there, and my light was not probably as good as what I would think I would usually do. So, but the rest of the increments throughout the race up to half track, we were pretty neck and neck really, so it wasn't too bad.
The crew seem happy though, they've turned the car around fairly quickly, and you look pretty relaxed here in the pits.
Yeah, no major mechanical issues, like the engine's sweet, that's to Aaron, and yeah, clutch-wise, which is the other main unit in these sort of cars, is pretty happy at the moment too, so yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, good luck, and hopefully you get a round win tonight.
Yeah, well, I'll keep your fingers crossed. Yeah, she's a pretty hard class. Everyone's pretty much on top of one another, so yeah, we'll give it a shot and see how we go. That's all we can do.
You have to say the North Queenslanders are always laid back when they get down here to Willowbank Raceway. We are headed into round 2 of Pro Stock. The sun is set, the air's cooled a little bit, the conditions are different. There's going to be some tuning tweaks on these cars.
Yeah, they'll be able to get probably a little bit more aggressive now. They're going to naturally make a bit more horsepower because the air has got a little bit cooler. It's a bit richer with the oxygen content as well. So the Pro Stockers usually, they'll pick up a couple hundreds here, and naturally they'll probably pick up 1 or 2 just in tuning decisions as well after collecting some data on that first pass.
Well, Nino Cavallo on screen to take on Jody Racco. We've got Victoria versus Western Australia. Now, Cavallo looked home in that first round race against Chris Soldatos. As you picked it, he got a little bit close to the centre line and elected to pull the parachute, which stabilises the car and kept everything safe, but probably that's a win that just got away.
I think so as well. Jody Racco on screen did get a win though in round 1. This is going to be a tough pass for the team here to get past Cavallo. If he can get that car across the finish line, it will be in the 7-0 region, I'm sure of it.
See one of the team members there just with a heat gun checking the tyre temperature before that car goes into stage. They'll record that, and it's just part of the data that they consider every time when they're making tuning changes for the next round.
And you're right there, there's about 1,000 things they take into consideration when deciding on that final tune-up before they come to start line, but they all add up to hopefully a 7.0 690 pass here in Pro Stock.
These Diamond T custom toolboxes cars just look absolutely fantastic under lights here at Willowbank Raceway. You hear those guys? We could hear them changing through the gears, and out comes the parachute for Nino Cavallo again, but this time he just hung on for the win with a 7.11.
Wow, it almost happened again, Cavallo, but he got the win this time. The chute's out early and still goes 7.11 seconds. Jody Racco was right there beside him, but Cavallo gets a win here in round 2. So both drivers 1 win, 1 loss after 2 rounds of racing.
That was so even all the way down the racetrack. Cavallo edged out the tiniest of margin by the finish line. Unfortunately, it was just enough, because you'll see the parachute come out way early. Matt Kavanagh, he'll be down with him in the braking area.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Nino Cavallo, though, very excited. Your first win on Aussie soil.
Yeah, it was a great win. Finally done it, which is great for us and the crew, so hopefully we can do some more wins.
Well, good luck tonight, and obviously round 3 you get some more points.
Yeah, that'll be good. No worries. Thank you.
Well, Nino Cavallo, first win on Australian soil, as Matt pointed out.
Well, he washed off about 50 or 60 kilometres per hour there with those shoots out early. That was probably 5 or 6 hundredths of a second. At least he lost an ET as well. So those guys definitely to watch in round 3. Next up, we have got our championship leader, Chris Soldatos, coming forward.
He's going to be up against Paul Beecham in the GTO.
It sounds like Beecham's struggling to keep this thing alight. You can hear the engine revs build up, and then it's like it's trying to stall. Possibly it could be flooding or something, I'm not sure. You can hear him though, he's trying to keep the engine fired.
His crew was saying shut it off, and he's going, I'm trying. He's still on it.
That's the driver for you. They don't want to give up at all. The drivers don't ever want to hit that kill switch.
Well, this is a freebie for Chris Soldatos. It's another 20 points for him. It could put him in the final, but what he's got to do is he's still got to run a quick ET, and looks like Paul's finally going to wave the white flag.
Yeah, they'll go back to the pits and have a look at what's causing the engine to do that, and hopefully be back out in round 3. But Soldatos here moving forward for Ridgeway Motorsports and Tingay Smash Repairs. He has got the solo pass here. He will pick up another 20 points. It is about those bonus points right now here in round 2. We have seen Cavello go that 7-1-1 off of it early, so there's definitely room there to sneak past Cavello and pick up some points.
Well, the reality is he's got 1 win from 1 start, but he's got 2 Tremayne racing cars in front of him on the points ladder at the moment. How quick is it? 7:08, 294 kilometres an hour, straight on down the middle.
Yeah, he might have backed off a little bit early there as well across the finish line. I think they're probably hoping for maybe a 7:06, 7:05 pass here in this session. You can see, yeah, little there, it's all right from the crew chief there, Peter Ridgeway, but definitely room for improvement for that team here. You can see the shift lights there as he bangs through the gears inside that car. And they get the win here in round 2 for Chris Soldatos, our championship leader in the bottom end with Matt Kavanagh.
Yeah, I'm down here with Chris Soldatos from the last race. Chris, not the way you want to win, but you get the win anyway.
Well, that's the way it goes, I suppose, you know. I don't know what happened to Paul, but it went all right. I mean, I shut it off a bit early, but yeah, we're going along all right, We'll just see what happens, All we can do is keep going for rounds.
Well, good luck. You might make the finals.
Thank you. Thanks.
Well, Chris Soldatos, the Victorian, 2 wins from 2 starts, and you can tell he's excited.
That he is there, Chris Soldatos and the team picking that car up there in the bottom end. All right, we have got Tyronne Tremayne on screen for Megabulk Fuels coming forward. We're in a great 7:06 in round 1. He'll be taking on Wayne Daly here for Diamond Tier Custom Toolboxes. They're about to start their burnout procedure. You got to say this, they've got some gremlins here on this car. They're really struggling with that first to second shift. The car's not behaving. I was speaking to Brett Rowley, their team manager down there, and they took everything out of it on that last pass, just trying to get it down track, but it's not responding at the moment.
Well, Tyronne Tremayne for Megabulk Fuels. That's him in the office. You can see the gear shifter there. That's the way they make it through that 5-speed manual transmission. Wayne Daly's got the horsepower. The horsepower's all handled by Tyronne Tremayne in the next-gen workshops. It's been on the dyno over there, and Aaron knows that Wayne actually has more horsepower than he has. But it's a case of you've got to put the whole package together, and at the moment, that's where the Tremayne team have the advantage.
And when you talk about that whole package in Pro Stock, you're talking about the clutch, the forelink, the shockies, the gear ratios, diff gears, tyre sizes, start line RPM. It's about getting all those factors all together perfectly so you can get these 1200 horsepower sedans across that finish line in first place in front of the other guy. And you can have all the horsepower in the world, but if you can't get all those little things right, it doesn't matter. You know, you're not going to get the wins.
Well, Wayne Daly last season was recording the quickest 60-foot times of all the Pro Stock cars, but they've lost their way so far this season. Daly onto the centre line. He had a race car that time, but it wanted to drift towards that line. He's disqualified. Tyronne Tremayne gets the win with a 7:04, and his dad's on the start line with Rusty.
Yeah, guys, down here with Kerry Tremayne, father of Tyronne Tremayne, who just went 7:04 with a 1, which is low ET, mate. Car's looking in pretty good shape at the moment.
Yeah, Aaron's car's really good. We've got a electrical gremlin we found in Tyronne's car, so he won't be front for this round of the rest of the meeting, I'm afraid. So we're pretty disappointed about it because he's doing really well, driving really well. The car's was super fast, so a bit gutted really.
That's big news in terms of the championship for Tyronne. Not making out for this round. Will he be back for the 3rd round? That's the question.
Oh, no, we won't, because we've got we could fix it, but seeing as an electrical issue, we could have a problem, so we're not going to risk it.
Wayne Daly's car looked good on this pass.
It was a great pass for Daly, but you could see it getting over towards that centre line, and he had no option in the end to button it off, and unfortunately he crossed the centre line, which was an automatic disqualification, handing the win to Aaron Tremayne. But it was a close, tight race up until that point.
Yeah, when Wayne got out of the groove there, well, he would have had to lift the throttle, and he still wasn't that far behind the car of Aaron Tremayne's.
No, they were neck and neck. That was their best pass of the weekend. So they're finally starting to get Daly's car back on top with the setup, and Aaron Tremayne got the win.
Yeah, Aaron Tremayne alongside me again. 2-round wins. You're going through to the finals against Soldatos.
Yeah, mate. Should be a good run against Chris. So hopefully we can get him one back in this round, and put one on the board, get me back up top in the points, and but it's been a bit of bad luck for my brother with a electrical issue, and I can't get the car going. He had a bad car this weekend. He just can't seem to get a win, that guy.
No, he's having a bit of bad luck, but you're having some good luck. So hopefully you go through and take the win tonight.
Yeah, someone's got to do it, eh?
So it'll be Aaron Tremayne and Chris Soldatos, and Aaron's just said he wants to get one back at him. Oh, it's going to be an interesting final when we get to that.
Oh, that's what we've been waiting for all weekend. We were hoping it would happen, and it has happened. So we will see Tremayne take on Soldatos in that final in round 3 of racing. But Brian Purcell will close out round 2 here with a solo. He was meant to face off against Tyronne Tremayne. Tremayne is out with electrical gremlins. We won't see him again tonight, but Purcell, he has got the freebie here. He's going to pick up 20 points and take his time to get a win. But have a look at the screen. The damage there on Wayne Daly's car there, Rob.
Yeah, that's what happens when you hit one of those foam blocks at speed. It does no good to carbon fibre.
We live to race another day, so that's the main thing. I'll be trying to straighten the thing.
Brian Purcell now moving forward in his Pro Stocker for Andergrove Storm Mackay on a solo pass. He ran a great 7-1 pass in the first round. I'm sure he's looking to dip into that high 7-0 zone here on this second round of racing.
Car left very nicely, runs 7-1-1, just outside the O's you're talking about, 311 kilometres an hour. Nice pass for Brian Purcell. I know he'll be looking forward to round 3 to see whether he can get into those O's.
You can watch the replay. You see the shift light just shines bright on the helmet there of Purcell as he hits those gears. 4 shifts into the top gear, 5th gear there across the finish line, 300 plus kilometres per hour.
Yeah, the drivers don't have time to look at a tacho. When that red light comes on, they just pull the next gear, and it gets him down the track in 7.11 seconds.
They've got data loggers to let him know how close they were to hitting those gears as well. Let's have a look at the way they finished off here in round 2 of Pro Stock. It will be Aaron Tremayne and Chris Soldatos racing off for the gold Christmas tree at the New Year Thunder. Nino Cavello, Jody Racco, Tyronne Tremayne running out our top 5 in the points here after round 2. We will see all those guys back out in round 3 of racing very shortly.
We certainly will, and we're in for a great final. Soldatos versus Tremayne. Will we see payback? I don't know, but we're going to find out after the break. Welcome back to 400 Thunder Television. We're at Willowbank Raceway for the New Year Thunder to get 2019 underway. It's Pro Stock. We've had 2 great rounds. We've got a killer final coming up. It is going to be Aaron Tremayne to take on Chris Soldatos. Now Matt Kavanagh's down there in the pits talking to Aaron Tremayne right now.
Aaron Tremayne, you're going through to the finals here at round 2 at the New Year's Thunder. How's it feel?
Yeah, mate, pretty stoked. So hopefully just one more to go and get this thing into the winner's circle for Mega Bowl Fuels and all the rest of the crew.
Yeah, your brother hasn't had much luck this week. I mean, last time you got to the semi-finals in Sydney, this time it's your chance to go through to the finals.
Yeah, that's it. You know, you take it hand in hand, but you know, for him it's pretty disappointing. But you know, all you can do is pick your chin up and fix the car, and you know, go to the next round and try and win that one.
Yeah, we know it's early in the championship, obviously sitting in 3rd, but after tonight, you're hoping to catch those points up.
Yeah, well, hopefully it'll put us all on a bit of a level pegging field if I can knock Chris out. But, you know, the car's running okay. I think there's still a bit more there. It's a bit lazy down low, so if the track's there, we can probably throw a bit at it and go a bit quicker.
All right, mate, well, we'll let you get back to it, and we'll see you soon down the far end.
Thank you very much.
Let's have a look how Aaron Tremayne went to the final. First up, he met Brian Purcell in the Andrew Grove Store Mackay back car, and this was a good drag race.
It was a really good race. It was Purcell's first event of the season here in Pro Stock, but Aaron Tremayne tuning both engines for both cars here on the start line. He would get the win here in round 1.
A win's a win, but there was only a car length in it as Purcell kept him well and truly honest.
We moved into round 2 of racing. Aaron Tremayne here on screen. He would face off against Wayne Daly. Daly had been struggling this weekend up until this pass, but Tremayne, knowing what sort of power on board Daly had, he couldn't take this race lightly at all.
Yeah, the Diamond T Custom Toolbox's Dodge has a slight horsepower advantage over the Mega Bolt Fuels car.
And he knows that because he also does the engine development for Wayne Daly in that car as well. He got the automatic win because Daly couldn't keep his car in his lane, crossing the centre line. He goes 2 from 2, which put him into the final here at Pro Stock.
The man he's going to face, of course, is Chris Soldatos. It'll be a resumption of hostilities between the Tremaniac and Tingays teams. Soldatos. His first round opponent was Nino Cavallo with this brand new Dodge. Very swoopy, very aerodynamic and very powerful. Cavallo actually had him covered at the 3/4 track mark. Chute came out early, and Soldatos 20 points, and that really did set him up for his trip to the final.
Yeah, moving on to round 2, you can see Soldatos there talking to Cavallo after the pass. All the teams, they all get in the braking area, dissect each other's runs, what happened on pass. And here in round 2, Chris Soldatos would be taking on Paul Beecham in the other lane. He had a great first round, tough victory over Cavallo, but here would be a little bit easier because Beecham had some issues here on the start line. The car wouldn't stay fired, so they had to back it out here. And what that meant was for Soldatos, there was no pressure on him. He could just concentrate on getting this car down across the finish line as quick as possible and hopefully pick up enough bonus points, which he did, enabled him to go through to the final.
It was a pass right on down the middle, and of course with the withdrawal of Tyronne Tremayne, that guaranteed him that spot in the final. Well, what are we going to see? Matt Kavanagh's interested in finding out.
Chris Soldatos down here in the pitch. You're going through to the finals once again. Second chance to go through to the finals so far in this season.
Yeah, we'll give it a bash and we'll see what happens. I mean, Aaron's going to be pretty hard to beat, but we'll give it a bash. I mean, that's all I can do, you know. We'll try and have a bit of a crack and see what happens.
Last round we went in Sydney into the finals against his brother Tyronne, and a little bit of controversy there with the staging lights. Are we going to be seeing that again, or are we going to be waiting for Aaron to come in?
We'll see what happens out there, won't we?
Well, good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Well, if we think back to the Pro Stock of old in the 90s, etc., there was staging duels, there was all sorts of games going on. Then Pro Stock got a little bit sort of, I would say, sanitised, and it's on again these days.
I'm loving it. This rivalry between Soldatos and Tremayne that's building up. I cannot wait for that final. But first, we will have the remainder of the cars battle here in round 3 for some championship points. On screen, Brian Purcell for Endergrove Store Mackay in his Pro Stock car coming to a stop here. Go through the burnout procedure as he shifts through those gears into top gear and across the start line there as he lays down some fresh rubber, which he will launch this 1200 horsepower car on.
And it's great to see Paul Beecham's got that car fixed. Sounded like some sort of fuel problem in round 2, but it was very crisp then in the burnout and idling very nicely as it backs up, ready to run up against Brian Purcell, a pair of Pontiac GTOs.
Yeah, Paul Beecham. Yeah, it was a flooding issue they had in that car in round 2, so they've got it sorted here. So they are back out on track. We can see the guys there marking those wheelie bars. They mark them with a like a paint pen, and they actually measure how long they're on the wheelie bars on the launch after they've gone through. So they like to see how long the car was actually on those wheelie bars off the start line.
So we've seen some very nice performances tonight already by Brian Purcell. Paul Beecham, he's just loving being out there on the track with his Beecham Motorsport Pontiac GTO.
Yeah, I'm sure this team, they're looking for like a 7-1 pass here against Purcell. Purcell's probably looking to dip into that 7-0 region. You can see Purcell is in pre-stage here for his car, waiting on Beecham now. Both cars in pre-stage.
Massive hole shot there for Brian Purcell.
You can visually see that hole shot for Purcell. He gets the win. He goes 7.08 at 311 kilometers per hour. That's his quickest pass of the weekend there. Paul Beecham goes 7.33, but it was all Purcell here on this run.
Yeah, Brian Purcell will be delighted with that. I mean, and it's just reward for the amount of hard work that team has done.
Yeah, when we talk about hole shots there, that's where Purcell, his reaction time was a lot quicker than Paul Beecham's car. He got off the start line first. You could see his car leave. It was almost a car length out on Beecham before he left the start line. That's what we call a hole shot.
Yeah, almost 0.2 of a second difference in the reaction times there. But Brian Purcell, well, that's 20 more championship points go on to his tally.
Yeah, alongside Brian Purcell, you've got yourself another win. Good to be talking to you again.
Yeah, thanks for that. It got better as the night went on for us, actually. So a bit of bad luck for Tyronne in the second round, but I think me and Paul had a pretty good race there on the last one. So, and the car went good on the last one as well. So it ended up a pretty good weekend for a long weekend so far.
Well, that's good news, and congratulations on a couple of points into the series as well.
Yeah, well, that's a game from up Mackay. She's a fair old trip down, so Brisbane for sure all the time, so we're looking forward to come back at Easter time. Sydney, I don't know, see how we go. And while I'm here, just I'd like to thank Grove Store in Mackay, Jeff. He's been on the car for a long, long time. He's a great supporter, and the guys that gave me a hand, Franco, Warwick, Mark, Lee and Danny. Couldn't do it without you guys. This is definitely a team sport, even though everyone just sees the driver.
Thanks, mate.
Nino Cavallo in his burnout in this new Dodge. The Victorian to take on the Western Australian Jody Racco for Diamond T Custom Toolboxes.
Yeah, we are on board with Jody Racco here as he backs up after that burnout. You can see the Holden Monaro here reversing. See the big rear slicks there, about 34 inches, those rear slicks in the Pro Stock cars. They run about 5 to 6 pounds of pressure in the back of those cars. You compare that to your drive car around during the day is usually about 32 to 40 pounds of pressure in your standard drive car.
And if you're wondering why the crowd in the grandstand's thinned out, we've had some accidents. We've had some incidents in other categories. The schedule's been pushed back. How far? We're now looking at what? It's almost 20 to 1 in the morning. So what was to be a one-day event's turned into a two-day event.
Jody Racco here on screen is well past my bedtime, Rob, but these Pro Stock guys are keeping me awake here, and I love it. You can see the crew guys here bringing Racco into stage.
You'll see the white pre-stage light comes on at the top of the Christmas tree. In comes Racco. When all four lights are on, they're in the start beam, ready to race. Cavallo got to the finish line this time, 7:01, 306 kilometres an hour. Absolutely great run, Rusty.
Absolutely, down here with Adam from Nino Cavallo's crew. 7:01, mate. That is low ET of the event so far. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Just the whole weekend's been about getting Nino comfortable in this car. It's a little different. Last time we had it out in the States, he was a little nervous and wasn't running right, so we almost got it to the finish line on that run. So next time we'll, I don't know, next run we'll make it to the finish line and everything will be good. So next time.
That's pretty ominous for the rest of the field. If a 7:01 doesn't take it all the way to the finish line, there's plenty left in that car then.
There's not that much left, maybe a 100th or two. So that's about it.
That's still a 6, mate, but anyway, congratulations, great job.
When you've got low ET of the event, knowing that there's anything left in the performance tank is a really good feeling.
Well, that pass there for Cavallo, he actually went 4.48 seconds to half track. That usually does equate to potentially a high 699, 700 pass, so he was off of it early. Those guys are one to watch for the remainder of the Pro Stock season, definitely.
Jody Racco for Diamond T Custom Toolboxes. He was right there, but the Dodge just had too much horsepower.
This will be a great on-board shot on Jody Racco's car. You'll see Cavallo out to the left of screen potentially.
That's it. There he is, just running away at the top end, and the chute was out across the finish line.
I tell you what, as a driver, that's one of the heartbreaking moments where you can see the car outside your vision there start pulling away from you, going down track.
Okay, it's finals time. Here is Tyronne Tremayne inside the Mega Bulk Fuels car. He is going to be taking on Chris Soldatos. We've talked about it right through the show. There was plenty of feeling after the opening round in Sydney.
Do you think they're going to do something? Do you think there could be games here, Rob? I'm excited. I hope there is. I'm praying that we've got some games here on the start line.
Well, it comes down to there's many ways. You can go into pre-stage, let the other guy into pre-stage, and then you have a burn down where it's a case of you go in, no, you go in, and you'll both sit there and wait. In the end, the starter just about has to force you in. Or, well, will we see one of these guys bump into full stage before the other is even ready? That's what happened in Sydney. That's how Tyronne Tremayne got timed out down there. Aaron, his brother, he wants some sort of revenge here. He's got the horsepower to do it.
Now we see Tyronne Tremayne. He's up towards that pre-stage area. He's looking over at Soldatos. Have a look at that. Look at that vision. He's looking over there at him. I think it's going through his mind of what he wants to do.
He's in.
He's in. Tremayne is in full stage. It's happened again. We've got a double bob in Tremayne's lane.
Tremayne went into full stage and Soldatos went across the centre line, and reaction times were horrible for both of them. But Tyronne Tremayne paid back the favour to Chris Soldatos, gets the win with a 7:05, and the worst reaction time I have ever seen from Tyronne Tremayne.
So Tremayne's in full stage here, Rob. He's double walled, so the timer has not started yet. Soldatos, the 7-second timer doesn't start until Soldatos puts on that pre-stage light, but he jumps straight in as well. Neither driver had their revs up, so Tremayne goes a 0.6 light, Soldatos goes a 0.8 light. When was the last time you heard a 0.6 light was the whole shot?
that is never. Never in my life have I seen someone cut a 0.6 reaction time and be first off the start line.
And both had cup of teas there. They didn't move. The revs weren't up. I've never seen that before in Pro Stock, Rob.
Chris Soldatos was also stage crooked. His car launched and went straight ahead, straight towards the centre line. But Tyronne Tremayne, he's got the win, he's got the trophy, he's got the revenge.
Yeah, Tyronne Tremayne, he's quick out of the car. He's happy down here. You can see he's got himself another gold tree.
Yeah, thanks, mate. What can I say? It's a big weekend for us, and you know, it's good to get a win back for the team. And you know, we ran Chris and gave him back what he deserved for doing us to what happened to him, and he stood on it. So you know, that's what happens when you try and play games. You get playing game back. I want to come out here and race fair, but you know, hopefully next time we can do so.
Well, dramatic final again for Pro Stock at the New Year Thunder. It will shake up the points. Chris Soldatos maintains his lead, but Tyronne Tremayne goes into second ahead of his brother Tyronne. Jody Racco is in fourth. Wayne Daly in fifth. Cavallo starting to make his presence felt, but that gap at the top, that's not much, and it is going to be absolutely red hot when the Pro Stockers come back. Friday, 19th of April at the Santos Super Thunder. We've got Top Fuel, Top Bike, Pro Alcohol and Pro Stock, plus 400 Thunder Sportsman Racing. It is going to be absolutely awesome. We're not finished with the New Year Thunder from Willowbank Raceway yet. Next time on 400 Thunder TV, we'll be bringing you the action of Pro Stock Motorcycle. Join us then.
Coming up after the break, we head over to the Chilean capital of Santiago for the third round of the FIA Formula E Championship, the Santiago E-Prix.